I hope everyone is practicing with this code. Whatever the code which we have taken, a very basic example, we have seen that how we can write the Salesforce Apex class, right? So now we are going to see that how we can implement all these things, whatever the things which we have studied till now, like list, set, map. But from the collection of framework, I'll take just one as a list. Then for the whatever the DML operation we have used, now we'll start with the SOQL query, SOQL language. Okay, then we'll merge all this code and we'll implement in one particular code. Okay, so let's go to the developer console. As I told you, if you have to open the developer console where you have to code your code, you can simply click on this gear icon. Then in the developer console, okay, after developer console, here you can see there is a file. So page is getting loaded over here. Okay, so here is a file. And yesterday we have seen one generic car example, right? So click on open. So here you can see to open this, I'll click on this. Now here you can see, as I told you, first we have written the public class name, which is the generic car. We have taken this public. Why? Because we want to call this class in from another class. Okay. If we are taking this private class, we can't call from the another class. Is that right? Then, so that's the reason we have taken this as a public class. Then coming down, here we have written the constructor with the same name as that of class. And we have seen that how we have passed the value over here. Okay. So whatever the values were there, we passed in this anonymous Apex code, right? And then we have followed all these things and then we have covered all this part, right? So this is how you will be doing for this. Let me close this and let me open this again. Okay, so we have just defined all these properties. All properties value were defined in this anonymous Apex code. Then here we defined the properties. Okay, so the properties which are the attributes, as I told you. Then we define the methods over here. The methods which are nothing but the functionality. So we have seen that how we can print this functionality as well. If we simply click on, how we can call all these things by simply going to the anonymous window. As I've told you, the shortcut for this is Control plus E. Then if you want to call this class, you will simply define one particular class over here, right? Then one object, which is variable. So I'm just taking one as an object equals to. Then what you will be taking, you will pass the values in this constructor. So new and again this class name and here the constructor. Okay. So in this constructor, all the values you are going to pass and you will print this obj, which is a variable. Is that clear? And then we'll get it. And then if you want to call the method, then how you will be calling? Simply you will be taking this class, this variable name. Okay. After this variable name, what you will going to do? You will take this method, copy this and dot object dot where this variable object dot this sorry, not this method. I have to copy this method. Okay. If I call this method, it will get printed with the car is running and whatever the object name is there, model name is there, it will come with that name as in printed over here. So I'll just I'm just showing you. We have seen all this code yesterday only. Okay. Is that clear? So we were looking into the DML operations also yesterday. So as I was explaining you, that why do we use that DML operation, which is nothing but the data manipulation language. Okay, so whenever we have to insert, update, upsert is nothing but the insert plus update, and what we call it as a delete. So these three terms we are using over there. Okay, insert, update, upsert, and delete. These four terms we are using over there. Is that correct? Then if we see, I've told you the limit also for that, right? So for that reason, we are going to see that how we can do that coding as well. Okay, we will see that how the list is coming into the role. Okay, how that list is helping for the DML operation as well. Okay, for now, just we have to focus. We have to start with the SOQL queries, then we'll move to each and every part of it. Okay, so till now we have covered basic apex class example. Then we have seen the collection of data types. Then third, we have seen the DML operation. What is the DML operation? We have seen one example of insertion, right? Then now we will see the what is queries. Okay, so queries are nothing but the SOQL is the Salesforce Object Query Language. SOQL stands for Salesforce Object Query Language. Okay, please make a note of this. Salesforce Object Query Language. So why do we use this SOQL? Anyone has an idea regarding this? Why do we use this SOQL? Can anyone answer? Do you have any idea? To query the database, to communicate the database, can you please share this code? Sir, we has created communicate. Okay, so lots of answer are there to communicate with the database. Okay, we are communicating with the database, but what's the reason? Why do we query? Okay, we are doing communication, but why we are doing the communication? Because we have to fetch the data. We have to retrieve the data from the database. Okay. Again, I am repeating, we are using these SOQL queries to fetch the data. To fetch the data, okay? Or to retrieve the data. Correct? Okay. So how we can fetch this? Simply you have to write the query for that. If you write the query in such a way, then you can fetch all the data regarding that. So if you want to fetch that, suppose you want to fetch the records of an account object. So how you can fetch? Simply what you have to do, there is a keyword for that. You have to start with, like, here you can see that I'm selecting the query editor. Okay, if you can see, enter SOQL or SOSL. You can write both the things over here. So SOSL stands for Salesforce Object Search Language, and SOQL stands for Salesforce Object Query Language. Mostly we'll be using SOQL only. We don't use that much SOSL. Okay, so SOQL is the mostly used. So here you can see whenever we use the SOQL, it is the having the command where we have to do use this. So here you have to queries in such a way that it will start with a select, and then whatever the columns means what fields, right? So you have to select the fields from type where predicates means the object. Okay, so if suppose I want to fetch the data from the account object, so how I'll be fetching? Simply I am selecting select id comma name comma industry. From which object I want? From account object. Okay. See guys, we are looking the Salesforce Object Query Language, which is SOQL. Now, if suppose I want to fetch or retrieve the data from the account object, so how I will be retrieving that data? Simply, I have to use the select keyword over here, and I am selecting the select ID, name, industry from account object. Clear? Now, if suppose I want to call this, how I'll be calling? Here you can see there is an execute button over here. If I click on this execute, it will give me Let me copy this. It will give me all the data, all the records which are there in the account object. Is that clear? Whatever the records which are there in the account object, it is retrieving that records from that account object. So here you can see there are 20 rows. 20 rows means what? 20 records are there. As I told you on first day only, that what are rows, what rows represents? Rows represents the records. What columns represents is the field. Correct? So here you can see there are the 20 rows, means what? There are 20 records in the account object. Correct? Now, if you want, some industry as in chemicals only should get displayed. So how it will get displayed? Simply you have to use the where keyword. Okay, so here I'm writing where industry equals to, in the single quotes, I'll be writing the chemicals. Okay, so here you can see I'm using this select ID name industry from account where industry equals to chemicals. Clear? Now if I execute this code, whatever the records which are having chemicals, only that records will be getting displayed over here. See, guys, I'm repeating once again. What I'm doing over here, I'm simply selecting the ID, name, industry from account, whatever the fields are there from the account object, where industry is chemical. So whatever the records are there with the chemical as an industry, then that records only will get displayed. So if I'm clicking on this execute, so here you can see there are 6 records with the industry as an chemical. Correct? Is that clear? If I'm changing these chemicals to agriculture, so if there are industry as an agriculture, then only that records only will get displayed over here. So if I'm clicking on this record, so here you can see there is only one record with the agriculture. So if you want some specific records, and on that specific records only you have to work, so you will be using this Salesforce object query language. Is that clear for everyone? Is that clear? Okay. So now we have seen this, how we can use this SOQL. This was a very basic example for that. Now let us see that how we can code with this in the, like in the real time. We'll be looking into that as well. But for now, just we'll see that how we can create that SOQL by the code writing. Here we have written in the query editor only itself, right? So if I am writing this list, on which account I'm working on the account object, correct? Then I'm defining variable as in my_var, correct, equals to. Now I'm writing the query, so I'll write in this array. So I'll write in this square brackets only. Okay, so select ID, comma name, comma phone. Whatever the fields are there you want to display, you can just display from which object? From account object. So select the account. Okay, where, if I'm writing where industry equals to single quotes chemicals. Okay, so I've written this code and I want to execute this. So I'll be printing this code simply using the same way, system.debug. Okay, system.debug, and I'll query this. I'll print this variable. So copy this. Okay. After copying this, just place it over here and then execute. So click on the open log first, then execute. So it is saying line number 3. Okay. Line number 3. What is the error? System.debug. So list of account, my where select ID name, phone from, okay, account name, where industry equals to. Now execute this code. So here you can see in the debug only, you will see all the records which are there. Now you might be thinking these are coming in this one line only. All the records are coming in one particular line. So if you want this record to be displayed in new line, so in that case, what you have to do, simply you have to use the for loop for that. Okay, so how you will be using this for loop? Simply take the for loop. Okay, After taking the for loop, just take one particular object over here in the bracket, just define that object, then define one variable. So suppose like AC, I'm defining, then colon, then take this variable. Okay, take this variable. Okay, so whatever the variables which we want to define, we can define with this as well. But for just an some minor example, I'm just taking this as an AC. Why? Because I want that records to get displayed in new lines. Okay, so for that reason only I'm using this thing. So okay, okay. So give curly brackets, then okay. Now try to execute. Go to debug only. So here you can see the records which are there. Here it is coming in this way. Okay. So it is not coming in one line only, but it is representing in this way only. So like account. So this is the 5 records over here. Then the another one, another one. So in this way they are getting displayed. You can use any way, whatever you want. Just I want to show you that how you will be querying over there. Okay. How you can query with that. So this is the very basic example of it. Okay. Then talking about this, this was a basic, very basic example. Now, you can use, there are multiple terms. You want to use it, you can use, okay. So if suppose you want an records in descending order or ascending order, so simply you, what you will be doing, what you'll be using, order by industry. Okay. Uh, yes. So execute. So it will get the records will get displayed in the opposite, means it will be there in the descending order. So here you can see uh, account is there, express name is there. So whatever the records which are coming over here, they are coming in the descending order. Okay. So that is the one you can, there are multiple terms. If you want to look into that, you just simply go to the Salesforce help. There you will find each and every terms over there. So if you write Salesforce SOQL and help, you will get all the data types which are there for that. Okay, so you can simply visit that, and you can see how we can use by, sort by, order by, then count. There are lots of terms in that. If we are taking each and every terms over here, then whole session will be completed in just SOQL only. So that's the reason I am saying you can simply go to the Google and you can search for the SOQL, Salesforce SOQL. Okay, help. After clicking entering that, you will get one Salesforce help page. There you can see each and every terms over there. Is that clear for everyone? Okay. Uh, we'll just see that each and every term. We can't see that each and every term, so that's why I'm saying that. If you have any query regarding that, then you can ask me anytime. Okay. Then completing this thing, now we have to, if you want to see, if you want to fetch the if you want to fetch the child records from parents, so how we'll be fetching? So simply what you have to do, simply you have to do select uh, uh, select id comma name comma phone from account object. Okay. So what I am selecting over here, select ID name from account object. But I want a contact records also from the account object. So which are associated from with the account. So how I can get that? Simply what I'll be doing. First, I have written the parent objects fields, right? Now, if I want to fetch the contacts as well with the account. So how I can fetch it? This is the last field which I am using over here. So what I'll be doing over here, simply press the comma and then I'll take the brackets over here. Okay. Okay, see, this is the last field. Before from, what I'm doing, I am inserting one bracket over here. Okay, then what I'll be doing again, I will be writing the select. Okay, select ID comma name. From which object now I want the contact object, so which is the child of account. Okay, so I'll be writing the from contact object, right? So contact object. Okay, so here you can see I've written the contact, but how you will be writing this? You will be writing this as a plural form. Why I'm writing this plural form? See, whenever you are fetching with the for the parent over here, whenever you are writing the parent object, let me explain you in this way. If I'm going over here and I'm going to the sales application first, okay, let me click on this. So here, as you can see, I'm in the sales application and I'm in the accounts object, and I'll click on the edit page, edit object. So here you can see on the detail side, what I'll be doing, I'll simply, when I'm writing for the code for the parent one, I'll take this API name. Okay, I'll take this API name. So API name for account is this one only, correct? Now when I'm taking this as an context, okay, so when I'm taking this child, so I have to take the, let me show you. If I'm going to this context and going to edit object, okay. So after going to this edit object, I have to use this plural label. Okay, here you can see there is a plural label. So just copy that. Okay. After copying that, what you have to do, simply go to this query editor and here you have to paste that. Okay. Whenever you want the child from this parent. Okay. Okay, is that clear? Now if I'm trying to execute, it will get executed. So it is showing the accounts record. Here you can see there are account records, and in the account object, whatever the contact records are there, which are there in the contact object. So means what I am saying is, if suppose here you can see, if you I go to this contact object, and if I'm moving to the, suppose there suppose what is this gene point. Okay, so gene point account is suppose there is an Edna Frank in the contacts. Okay, so these are the contacts record, right? So there is an Edna Frank. So what I'm doing over here, I'll search for that Edna Frank. So first I have to click on the all contacts, then I have to search for the Edna. So here you will find the Edna Frank, right? So if I'm opening this, so what I'm doing over here, from the child here you can see there is a parent over here. From the child here you can see there is a parent over here. Here where is the account object field? So here you can see there is a gene point, right? So from the child object you are fetching the parent, correct? Please try to understand, guys. Whatever this contact is a child, and from the child you are fetching the account object. So here you can see from the child you are fetching the account object. See, you can see the output there. This name is associated to account object, right? So here you can see there is a gene point and there is a there is an Edna Frank which is in the context. So here you can see there is a context. So whatever the records which are associated to the contexts are coming out. And here you can see these contexts are not there, which are associated with the context. So here you can see only these records are there, which are associated to the parent object. Okay, is that clear for everyone? Is that clear for everyone? Can anyone respond? Okay. Now what I'll be doing. So this was the child from parent, right? Sorry, from child we have fetched that account, right? From context we have fetched the account. Now we'll see that how we can fetch the a context from account. So here you can see select ID comma name from context I'm writing. Simply I will write first sentence what from whatever I want it. Okay, so what I'll be doing, Lastly, what I have done, select ID name from account object, right? Now what I'm doing, select ID name from contact. Okay, I have written the contact. Now if I want for the account object, which is the parent, right? So what I'll be doing over here, simply I'll press the comma over here. Then I'll use the account object. So I'll write account. See, this is the difference between this parent child and child parent. Okay. So I'm writing this account. Okay. Account dot ID. So whatever the records which I want from the parent, I will write in this way, account dot ID, comma, account dot name. Okay. So select ID name, account.id, account.name from contact, correct? Now, if I'm trying to execute this, so here you can see, now here you can see that ID is there, okay, names is there, and here you can see there is an account ID and account name, okay? So we are fetching the account from the means we are where we can see there is an account which is associated to the contact. So if you want to do with this child to parent, so we'll use in this way. If we are writing the parent, then what we are doing, so I'll show you what are the two different terms where we are writing. So just I'll erase this all this code. I'll make this window a little bit up. So see the difference between these two things. If you don't understand this difference, then it will be difficult. Okay, so here you can see. So simply what I am doing over here, see the difference. Suppose I am writing this for the parent. So select ID, comma name, comma phone from account object. Correct? This is first I am writing for the account. Then what I am doing over here, then select ID, comma name, comma phone. Sorry, there is no phone. Okay, from contacts. Okay, so this is one form. Okay, this is one form, and another form is select, sorry, select ID, comma name from contact. Okay, then afterwards, before this from, what I'll be doing over here, I'll be using comma, then account dot ID, comma account dot name. So when I'll execute this, it will get run. Okay. Okay. So select ID name. So if I want for the parent, so here you can see account dot ID, account dot name from contact. Is that clear for everyone? Is that clear for everyone? If you have any doubt, then please let me know. Okay, so as I can see, yes, answer. Okay. So this is the basic query we can use. So mostly we'll be using this parent child and child parent things only. Okay. So after every fields you have to use the uh, so if we are defining one field, give comma. If you are defining another field, give comma. Then again for another object you are using, for the parent object you are using, then give comma again account dot. For with the account you have to define the field account dot id, account dot name from contact object. So here you can see we simply write the account id, name, phone, and from the account. Then before from we'll write the for the child select id name from the contacts. Is that clear? We have covered this thing, right? Now we will see whatever the things which we have learned till now. Now we'll build with the Apex class, and we'll see that how we can run these codes. Okay. So I'll start writing the Apex class now for the inserting. Okay, for inserting, updating. Okay, let me erase this thing also from here. Now I have to write one new class over here. So I'll be clicking on file, new, and I'll write it the Apex class over here. Now it is asking me for the name. See guys, most of the people I have seen this query in the Slack as well. The naming convention. See this naming convention, you can't write directly as in contact, or with the contact you are writing something. Please use some another words. There are lots of words you can mention. So if I am using this multiple options, uh, multiple, I can give any name for this. The class name is just you have to define. If you want to, if you are working on particular project, you can directly use the key point of that project. What for what purpose you are using. So that naming convention you will be considering. Okay. But right now we have to just use the see the multiple things which we have learned till now. So I'm just giving the random name only. If I'm working on the some specific work, so I'll give that work name only over here. Okay, so here you can see I'm just giving the multiple options or mm, multiple scenarios, we can say anything I can give. Okay, so I'm just giving random name over here. But naming convention, if suppose two words we are using, so give this as a uppercase only for the initials. Okay, but if you are using the just one word, so just give initial as in capital only. Okay, so this is called as an Pascal case. I have told you yesterday also. So just copy this, and here you can see it will automatically take this as a class. So multiple spelling is wrong, I know. So just let it be as it is. Public class. So I've taken this multiple class name as in that. Okay. Now, so I have defined the class with the public. Okay. So I'm not writing this. Yesterday I've explained this thing also. So now what I'll be doing, I'll be defining one method over here. Now I'll take the static method. Okay, yesterday we were looking into the non-static method. Okay, so when we are defining as a non-static method, we have to define particular object. Okay, so we have to define that object. So simply we have taken the class name, that variable means the object only, and then equals to new, again the class name. Why? Because we haven't defined that method as a static. Now we'll define the method as a static. Okay, so just define static method. Okay, is that clear? Public class, and the class name is here. And now I have to define the static method. Okay, so I'm defining the static method to create the record. Okay, now I'll define the method over here. So I'm not commenting this. So here we can say that we are for commenting, we are using this double slash over here. Now I'll write the method. So I'll write the public. Again, I'm using the access modifier public static void. Okay. Now the method name. So I'll write the method name as a new rec. Okay. So again, the naming convention. This is the camel case. So first initial will be the small, and another initial will be the capital. So I'm just taking this for the new record. Okay. So for the new record, I'm taking this initials as a new rec. Okay. Then again, I'm defining this and brackets, then curly brackets, and then enter. So now I'll save this code again. Now the problems are gone from here. Is that clear? Is that clear? So we have defined one method over here. Now I want to insert one particular record. So how I'll be inserting, suppose, and I have to show the how you can query for the custom object also. I'll show you that also, but let us finish this example first. Or should I take that how you have to do query for the custom object? What you want to see first? Yes, methods are necessary. If you are not defining the method, then how you can call the class? whatever the code functionality is important. Okay. Guys, can you tell me, should I continue with this code or should I first explain the query for the custom object? Okay, so some people are saying query, continue with the code. Okay, continue with the code. There are lots of things with the code. So I'll explain you with this code. Then I'll explain, or else what we'll be doing. Simply we'll take the uh, example for the custom object only. So it will be clear with this code only. So I'll query here for the custom object only. No need to worry about that. Okay. So what I'm doing over here, public static void. Now the object which we have created here in the organization is organization management, right? So let us go to the org first. Let us go to our org. Okay. So go to the app launcher, go for our organization management. So just click it over there. So our application name is organization management, correct? So now we'll see for the we'll insert some records in this employees. So here you can see there are 8 records over here, correct? So now we will insert some records into this. So let us go to the code. Okay, now I want to insert some records. So before that, let me close this tabs over here. I'll go to this edit object option over here. Then go to the edit object. Okay. After going to the edit object, here you can see there is an API name over here. So just copy that API name. Always we'll be using the API name only. Okay. Always we have to use the API name. So just copy this name. Now I want to insert the records for the employee object, right? So I'll copy this API name. Okay. Afterwards, I'll go to the developer console in the class. Okay. So now I am in the class. I'm in the method. Now what I'll be doing over here, I have to take this. I have to insert one record for the employee object. So I'll paste that API name. Okay. Then I'll define one variable. So I'm just defining this variable as an myvar. Okay. Equals to new instance of the record. Okay. So I'm again taking this object name, then bracket, then semicolon over here, correct? Then semicolon. After the semicolon, what you need to do, you just have to mention this thing over here. So you have just written the code. Now, for which field you want to insert the what fields you have to populate. Okay, so you'll be using this variable as in myvar. Okay, you are using this variable as in myvar, and just go to that employee object and see what are the fields which are there in this employee object. So here are some fields over here. So there is a name. So I'll take the name first. Okay, myvar dot name. Okay, so name equals to, I'll give some name over here. So if suppose I'm giving the name as an Bharat, okay, then semicolon. So myvar has the myvar is the variable over here, correct? And I have taken the name field. So myvar name. So whatever the value which I'll be giving for this, it will get stored into this myvar with the field name as a name. Okay, is that clear? So I'll save this now. Then again press enter. Now I'll define the another field. So with the myvar is a variable. Please try to understand. This is the variable, and with this variable only I am defining the fields. So I am taking this variable, and here it is showing me the whatever the fields are there. So if suppose I am giving this as an email, okay. So I am giving this email in the single quotes again. Upade Shivam at the rate thesmartbridge.com. Okay, is that clear? So here you can see Upadhyay Shivam at the rate thesmartbridge.com. I am giving this email ID as well. Then I have defined this field and I'll save this. Okay, so it will get saved. Again, I am taking this one more field as in myvar and dot Now I am selecting the if suppose there is another field, phone is there. Okay, instead of phone, city is there, state is there. So I'll select the state. Okay, so I'm selecting state in the single quotes. I'll mention the state as an Maharashtra. Okay, so you can't define the random fields because this is the field is a pick list field, right? So I'll have to define the field which are there in that pick list only. So I have just taken that one state name, then save this. Okay, now the error is gone. Now I have to insert this record. Okay, so I'm inserting this record. So how I can insert? Simply using the insert word, insert keyword, insert. What you need to insert? What are where the values are getting stored in myWhere, right? So I'll be storing this value in this myWhere. So I'll be inserting myWhere only. So copy this and paste it over here, then give semicolon and then save this. Is that clear? Is that clear? Now what I'll be doing? Again, I'll copy this. Okay, again, I'll copy this. Okay, and enter. Again, I am pressing it over here. So what I'm doing now, I'm changing the variable. Now I am giving the variable one. I can't take the same variable because these are the values for that for this variable only. Correct. Now again, I'm taking another field. I want to insert another record. So I have to create the another variable for that because this value will get stored into this variable and these values are getting stored into this variable. Correct. So these values are getting into this variable. Now I am creating one more variable, which is myWhere one. So I have to define this here over here as well as an myWhere one. Then here also myWhere one and myWhere one, and I'll call the variable as an myWhere one only. So now I'll save this. Okay, I'll change this name to Ankit. Okay, so now I've changed this name and I'll change this name to Telangana. Okay, so I have given this state name and I have changed this as well. Please remember this name Bharat and Ankit. Now I have to insert this myWhere one. Correct. So now I have written these two statements over here. Now let us update some record. Okay, I'll write the for the update. So I'll click on update. Okay, update the records. Okay, now to update the records, I need to check with the values which are already there. So here you can see if I open this Uday's record over here, and here you can see there is a state as an Andhra Pradesh and phone I don't want to do. So which name should I change it? Okay, suppose there is an Andhra Pradesh, so city is one only. Suppose I am selecting one state as an Maharashtra for this, so I'm having two values, right? So suppose I'm Maharashtra. So I'll select the city as in Mumbai. Okay, and I'll save this. Now, so phone number it is asking. So okay, now save this. Right now, I'll change this city to Pune. Okay, so I'll go to the code. Okay, now I have to update the record. So how I can update? Simply again, I have to use the same API name of the object. Okay, and I'm using this variable. So now I'm using my rec. Okay, so now for previously what we have done, we have uh, simply we have used the insert command, right? Now we have to update some particular record. So how I can update? So simply I'm taking the another variable which is the my rec over here, correct? Then equals to, okay, then equals to, I have to change this specific record. So how I'll be changing this record? Simply I will query for that. So I'll take the query in this. So select ID, comma, name, comma, what is this? city, right? So how I can write the city? So just go to that object, go to the employee. Here you can see there is an city. So where is the city? So here you can see the field name. So just copy this field name, because always we will see whenever we work for the field. So here you can see the city as an underscore underscore C. So field name is name. So that's why I've taken the field name as a name only over there. So ID, name I'm simply taking. There is no underscore underscore C. Why? Because it is the standard field. As soon as we create the object as an employee, this it is getting generated over here. Is that clear for everyone? Now I have copied this city. Okay, now I'll move to the code. I'll press it over here. Okay, then from which object I want it? From the employee object. So I'll copy this and I'll paste it over here. Okay, so I have mentioned that thing over here. So what I want to do, where I'll put one condition over here. Which condition? Where city is underscore underscore C, or simply you want to change for the particular ID. So you can take the ID and you can insert for that as well. So how you'll be using that? Suppose I want to change that record for this particular ID only. So this particular record. So what I'll be doing over here? Simply using this ID. Okay. So what I'll be doing? I'll use the where as an keyword over there, and in that where I'll be using the ID equals to record that variable name and that ID. Okay, so that I'll be inserting over there. Or if I'm doing in that way, so I can do that as well. Okay, so if I want to put that for the specific ID, if you want to put in the generic way also, you can do that as well. So instead of I'm using this where, I'll show you that also when to use this where. But for now, just leave that and I'll update the records for now. So here it is showing that problems are there. So just click on that and try to save this. Okay, now errors are not there. So I have written the simple query over here. So employee, which is having one variable, select ID, name, city from the employee object, correct? Same way which we have written for the account as well, right? Now we have to update the record, right? So how we can update? So simply take the variable. Okay, so how you'll be taking the variable? So take this variable, myrec, copy that variable, as you have copied that variable, give the field name which you want to update. So dot, you want to update the city field, right? Or let me give the condition so that specific record only will get updated. So my rec equals to city equals to Pune. I have to give, right? So give the Pune, right? Then semicolon. Then for when the semicolon, now I'm giving one condition. Now I have to update the record, right? So update. If I'm not writing any conditions, let's see what happens. Okay, update. And what I want to update, this my rec. Copy that and paste it over here. Then semicolon. Then save this. Okay. Okay. Now it got saved, right? So now I have to call these things. If I am calling this thing, how I can call? Simply press Ctrl plus C. Okay. Now here you can see, let me make it this small little bit. Okay, so now I have to call this method. So how I can call this method? Simply taking the class name. Now I no need to define any object. Simply I'm taking the class name and method name over here. Okay, so class name I have taken, then dot. I'm taking the method name. So the method name is new rec. So I'll copy this and I'll paste it over here. Okay, then brackets, then semicolon. Okay, now if I try to execute, it will get execute. So it is saying that column 1 system DML exception insert first failed. Okay, why it is getting failed? Except execute line number 8. insert my where exception row 7, 8, 7 to 9. The number should start within the range. Okay. So the phone number is the problem over here. So the name of the phone. Is that field mandatory? Let me check that. Employee object, phone. Details, name. If I'm going to the employees, then clicking on new, then if I'm leaving this, just defining this particular thing, and save. So number phone field also I have to take because it is not getting inserted because of validation rule. So what I have to do, uh, let me keep as it is for this now. I have to define the phone field as well. So my where dot phone. So take underscore phone equals to, if suppose I am defining some field with this number. Okay, now I am giving this semicolon, save this. Okay, now it is getting saved. Okay, now let's try to insert this again. I have to take same thing for the second record as well. Okay, so I have to define the same field over here. So just copy and paste it over here. Okay, then you need to execute. So save this again. Now I'm executing this code. Again, it is saying that system dot insert the number should start within the line number 9. Section, the number should start within the range say, of 7 to 9 and the phone number should be 10 digits. Okay, then what is this? 33639. Okay, 1. If I'm using over here, 1. Then save this. Then execute. Again, it is throwing error. The number should start within the 7, 3 plus 3639 110 and 336. So this is the 10-digit number only. Then why it is throwing an error? Let me try to insert this code in the here only itself. Copy. I'll paste it over here. Let me see whether this is running or not over here. So I'll execute the highlight. It is getting run. Okay, then it is getting inserted. So I haven't printed anything, right? So that's why Control plus E. So it is getting inserted. There is no problem with this. Then again, go to the code. Okay, now this is getting inserted. Then what is the problem with this? Let me check with this as well. Copy. So if I comment out this, let me check whether it is getting inserted or not. Star. Let me close this. One single bracket, two brackets, then it should get ended over here. Star. Okay. Now I'll save this. Now if I try to execute, Control plus E, remove this code from here. Now if I'm trying to execute, it is getting execute over here, right? Now that means that is getting inserted. If I go to the account object, if I check for the account, if I refresh this page, it is showing the Bharat records or not. Let's check. So if we check over here, sir, you can see two times we have run that code and it is getting inserted, right? So let's check with this thing. So it is getting inserted, right? Now, if we are trying to insert this another term, so let me check. Let me remove that comment from here and let me check with this. So if I comment out this, stop, control plus S. Okay. Now I'll call this. Now here itself it is getting filled. So it is saying that system DML exception insert field. First exception on row 0. First error. Custom field. What I'm doing over here is that means it is having the problem. So let me check. Employee myvar1 then equals to new, then new employee. Okay. Duplicates doesn't matter for that. Okay, I am using same variable over here. So now if I try, it should get execute. Okay. So try to execute. Oh, I haven't saved that. Sorry. I have to save this record first. Save this code first. Now try to execute. So now it is getting run. Okay. Where is it gone? Okay. Now it is getting run, right? Is that clear? Now let's go to the count. So this variable was causing the problem with the for the myvar, right? So now what we were looking into, let me remove this and let's see that what is happening with that record which we are taking over here. Then we are changing that record type, right? So let us go with that. Now save this and now I'll run this code as well. Execute. Line number 19, list has more than one row. See, it is saying that list has more than one row. So we have to give some specific record so that some specific record, if it is having, only that record should get changed. So that's why I was saying that we should have take the ID over there because there might be the multiple records which is having the city, some cities there, right? So I haven't given any condition. I'm directly writing for that. If I'm giving some conditions, so only that record will get changed. Is that clear? See, I am writing this ID, name, city from employee, but there are multiple cities, multiple records are there, right? So multiple records might be having multiple states, and according to that state, it is having that city, right? But what is the condition for us? It is I'm randomly taking that employee object, and I'm randomly taking the city as in Pune. But if suppose what if the state is Telangana, it won't come for the city as in Pune, right? So there should be some particular records only. So that record only it should get changed. Suppose if I'm putting where condition over here and I'm moving to that record, again moving to that application. So if I'm going to Uday's record where I've changed that state, right? So if suppose I am selecting where state as in Maharashtra, okay. If I am putting the condition where state as in Maharashtra, then it should change. Suppose state Maharashtra equals to in the single quotes I'll mention the city. So which is the city, which is the Mumbai. Okay, so whatever the field which is having the Mumbai, it should get changed. Okay, now let's check whether it is changing or not. So let's save this first. It is giving an error. It is saying that unexpected token as in Maharashtra. Sorry, it should be state. Sorry, I have to give this as a Maharashtra over here. So state equals to Maharashtra, right? So I have selected that Maharashtra instead of city. Instead of that, I need to take this state and equals to Maharashtra. So now I'll save this code. Okay. Let's check the error is gone or not. So still it is saying that city from employee where Maharashtra. Let me check with the values. Maharashtra state. Or there is a Maharashtra value. Okay. Then move to the record state equals to Maharashtra. City employee. First, let me query this in the query editor. Let me check whether it is running in that query editor or not. So let me check with the query editor. Okay. Okay. So state. First thing, I need to go to the account object employee. Then I have to check the state API name. I have to take the state API name over here. Copy that. Then I am taking this state name over here, the API name. I am saving this now. Now the error is gone, right? So I have saved this code. Again, that query editor just going this debug upside. Now I will execute this. Line number 19. It has more than one rows. Wait, A, C, cancel this. File, open. Then Control plus E. Okay. If I suppose give the limit for this, we close this. So if suppose I give the limit for this record one, I'll keep that as it is. Then I'll give limit one. One. Okay, again it is gone up. Okay, then developer console. Loading. Still it is loading. Okay, now I've saved this code. Now Control plus E. Let me check is there any error. So now copy this class, paste it over here, dot that method name, open log. Now it will execute. Okay. So here you can see, let's go to that record. Let's go to that record. Okay. Now we'll go to that record and let's refresh this page. Instead of limit, if I would have given that as a city over there, if I've given this ID, then it would have taken that ID as well. Okay. If suppose I'm giving that city, so some record might have changed over there. So I don't know which city it is getting changed. If suppose I want to change some specific record only, suppose I don't know which has changed to that city as in Pune, but for that I have to check some records, right? I don't know which record it is getting changed because we have put some limit. If I want to change for some specific record only, suppose I'm opening this. So here you can see there is an Mumbai, right? So I want to change this field for that particular field. So I'm copy this ID over here. Okay, then I'll move to the code. Okay, now I am representing that record ID only directly. How I can update that record and that query? Simply what I'll be doing, just going to that query, and what I'll do, I'll just erase these things away from here. Employee from employee, and after that, what I'll be doing over here, simply use where ID, okay, where ID equals to colon colon, and I'll insert this ID over here. Then I'll save this. Okay. Now let's try to change this record ID. Control plus E, execute. Okay. Then I'm moving to this record. If I refresh this page, so here you can see that Mumbai is changed to Pune. Is that clear for everyone? Is that clear for everyone? See, why I've used this limit, because there are multiple records with the state name as in Maharashtra, and there might be the multiple state city as in Mumbai or Pune. So which record have been changed, I don't know, because I put some limit for that, and there might be having that multiple records over there, right? So I'll explain you that code also. Okay. So what I've done, simply I've simply used that specific term for that. And if I want to change some specific records only, then I will use the ID. If I want to change some all the records which are there, then I need to give some limit. I don't know which field it is having. So that's why I put one condition over there, which I where ID is, for this ID, I need to change the value. So I have just given that value for that. Is that clear? Is that clear, guys? Okay, I'll open the code once again. See what I have done over here. Let me open this code. So what I have done, public static void, and I have inserted new record myWhere. And again, I have inserted one more record over here. So it is getting inserted. If suppose I am changing with this name, now I'll take the participant name which are at the front. Okay. Let me go to the participant's name first. Attendees. So I can see Anushri and Sai is there. Okay. So what I'll be doing over here, I'll simply take that name. And sorry. And there is a Sai as well. So I'll give this as an record name as an Anushri and Sai. Now I'll do one more thing. Now it is already updated, so I don't want to change with this value. Uh, just forget about this. Just think about this. I am inserting these two records. If you want to understand this query, what I'm doing over here, I'm simply using one query as an employee, my rec, and I am inserting what I want to query. Select ID, name, city from the employee, and where ID equals to. I want to change this records. This records city name. So I am changing the city name as in Pune. So here you can see I have taken the name as in Pune. So it is getting updated with the MyRec, correct? But what is happening over here? If I am printing this, system, I have to print each and every term. So system dot debug, and what a variable I want to insert. I want to debug this as an myvar1, myvar, and there is a myrec. So what I'll be doing, myvar
Recording in
Okay,
progress.
now I have executed over here. Now, if I am searching for the DML operations, how much DML operation it is considering. So I'll write the DML. So here you can see 3 out of 150, right? As I've inserted three, I'm doing the 3 DML operations over here, correct? I'm doing the 3 DML operations over here. So it is showing me the 3 DML. One is insert one here, then another DML is here, then another DML is here, right? If I go to the debug, if I'm to this only, then I'm going to this. Then if I'm going to debug, here you can see it is not getting printed over here because that record got inserted over here. So if I'm moving to the employees object, okay, now here you will be see the Anushri's record as well as the, here you can see there is the Anushri and there might be the Sai as well. Yeah, is that clear? So that record got inserted, right? But I have already occupied the three, three DML of it. But if I'm using this kind of terms, it will it will exhausted with this DML operation, right? So I have used the two insert terms over there. So it is considering two inserts and one update. So it is three. Now I want to reduce this thing. How I can reduce this thing? Simply what I'll be doing over here, I'll go to the code. Let me close this window. I'll keep it as it is with this 3 as in it. Okay. Then I'm moving to the code. Now what I'm doing over here, simply I'm creating one list. List of which object? Employee object. So I'll copy this and I'll paste it over here. Okay. Now I'll create one variable, which is the emp rec. Okay. So what I'm doing over here, I've created one variable with the list. Again, I'm creating new list. Then in the angle brackets, again, I'm taking the object name, then brackets, then semicolon. Is that clear? So now I'm taking the list over here. Now what I'm doing over here, please try to understand, guys. So what I was doing over here, I was inserting this myvar. Now instead of writing insert of this myvar, what I'll be doing, simply going down, I'll remove this. I'll comment out this in short. Okay, I'll comment out this. Now what I'll be doing, whatever the records which are there in this myvar, I'll store this myvar into this emp rec. Okay, so I'm storing this emp myvar's records in emp rec. So how I can add that? Simply I'm using this emp rec. Copy this. I'm using this emp rec and I want to add that. Add. So I'll be using that add keyword. And what I want to add? I want to add this myvar. So I'm copying this and pasting over here. Okay. After that, semicolon and save this record. Okay. So now I've saved this record, right? So whatever the records which were there, it is getting stored into this emp rec only. So whatever the values which is having myvar, it is getting stored into this emp rec, right? Now I have commented this. Now what I'm doing, again, whatever the values which myvar1 is having, I'll getting stored into this emp rec. Okay. Same thing which I'm inserting for the second record, same thing I'm doing for this as well. So same thing I'm doing, myvar1 values will get stored into this emp rec. Okay. So how I can do, again, I'll comment this insert also. Now after that, what I'm doing, so again emp rec 1, emp rec, okay, emp rec dot add, what I want to add, myvar, right? So I'll simply take the brackets, then paste it over here, then 1, okay, then semicolon. Now save this. Okay. Now I have added these two variables in this emp rec, right? Right. Now I'll simply insert one emp rec. Okay. Simply insert the emp rec over here. So if I am inserting this, insert emp rec, then semicolon, then save this. Is that clear? Is that clear for everyone? Now I have saved this. Now I am opening this window. Now I am executing it again. Now it is getting executed, right? If suppose I am checking the DMLs, how much DML it is getting consumed. So DML. So here you can see it is 2 out of 150. Why? Because what is happening over here, whatever the two sub variables which I have created over here, whatever the two sub variables which I have created over here is getting stored into this one variable only. So now what I'm doing, whatever the insert operations are there, it is going into this emp-rec only. Is that clear? I can't use this update term in that. Why? Because this is the update and insert is something else and update is something else. So if I'm again updating that, then it won't happen with that update. Why? Because it is just used for that insert operation. Is that clear? Is that clear for everyone? Please let me know, guys. Is that clear? Okay, so if you want to see that what I have done, I'll explain you this code once again. So what I'm doing over here, so please try to understand this, guys. What I have written, simple, I have written one particular class name, then I have defined one method, which is the functionality. Then what I'm doing, I am defining one list. Okay, so the list is having one variable. So if I want to insert multiple records, I can't simply if I want to insert one record, then it is fine to use directly without list. I am inserting one record. But in case if I want to insert multiple records at a time, then list is very helpful over here. What I am doing over here, I am simply taking the list. Okay, so I am taking the list, and what I'm doing, I am creating one more variable for the account employee object, and whatever the values which are getting stored in this my var variable is getting I'm adding that variable into this emp-rec with this insert one operation. Clear? Now I'm not using any insert operation over here. Then again I want to insert some another record, which is the second record over here. Correct? So the second record, what I'm doing, this second sub variable is there. So again I'm adding this into this this emp rec only. So the two records are getting inserted into this one variable. Now what I'll be doing, I'll update, I'll insert one variable which is with the list. So if I'm inserting use only one insert, so two records are automatically getting insert. Again, I don't have to use that insert my var, then insert my var. So it is consuming the DML operation, right? Suppose if you want to insert 160 record, then you can't write every time insert that variable, insert that variable, insert that variable. Instead of that, take one list, store all that sub variables record into that one list variable, and then execute it. Okay, so it will get run. Is that clear for everyone now? Is that clear for everyone now? Okay, so this is the thing which I have to take now. If I want to fetch some records of the whatever the records are there in the employee object. So how I can fetch that? So simply what I will be doing over here. Suppose I want to write the query. So what I will be doing? In this method only, what I'll do, uh, create the list. Then for the list, I am taking one variable as an employee underscore C. Okay, then taking one more variable emp equals to brackets select id comma name comma phone underscore C. I'll copy this from, paste it, then giving semicolon. Correct. Now I'll be using for loop. Now I am taking the for loop. So what I'll be doing this for loop, I can print it. So I'll write the query over here. So whatever I need to execute, I'll simply write one query. And in that for loop, I'll take one variable. So I'll print that variable with this. So suppose I'm taking this employee object, and with the employee object, what I'm doing, creating em colon, then taking copy this v, then semicolon. So what I'm doing, system dot debug uh, record ID. Okay, plus concatenate plus uh, ID. So emp dot ID. Okay, save this. It is saying that problem 8, unexpected select, expecting select a save. ID not exist. Save this. Okay, now sorry, em dot id. If it is taking, that's fine. If it is not, then okay, no edit. Okay, control Z. Em does not exist. Okay, no need to worry. So I'll just printing something over here. Okay, save this. So control plus E, then execute. So the records will get fetched over here. So here you can see the records which are there already in that employee. So it is getting fetched over here, right? So in this way, we can fetch all the records over here. And if you want to print it, we can print as well. Is that clear? For loop as semicolon. Where? Oh, see. Okay, so here you can see it is getting run, whatever the records which are there for that. So now what we'll be looking into, now I'll looking into the I hope this is clear for everyone. Okay. So in this time, we can use this change the records, so we can query the records. And even if you want to do one thing, we'll be using mostly it will be using in the triggers queries, because if you want to change some specific records with it, then we can use that as well. Okay. So that is the thing where we have to use that. Okay. Is that clear for everyone? Apex window. Okay. I just taken that example. See, if you didn't understood this with the code, what I've done simply over here. I've just taken that thing. I haven't. Don't want to do anything over there. I'm just fetching that how that query is getting run. Okay. I'm not. I don't want to do anything with that employee record and fetching the records. Simply, I've written that to extend that. See, I've done nothing over here. See, I'm simply inserting the two records to reduce the DMLs. Reduce the DMLs, I'm using the list variable, and with that list variable, I'm simply inserting that. That's it. I've already used that query over here. So that's why I'm again using it to showing purpose over here. So here you can see I've already used the query for the custom object, right? So just I have taken simply taking the executing this. If I'm not executing it, then the with this for loop, that is also fine. It will get run. Okay, is that clear? Yes, one query you should teach where order by connection to. See, I can't explain each and every terms in that query. If I explain means it whole day will be going into that query only. We don't have that much time because we have to cover lots of topics into that, right? So we have to see each and every part with that thing. If you know that how we are doing that, see if I can help you with this. Just if I'm going over here and Salesforce SOQL. So if you go to this page, okay, here you will find each and every terms over there in the SOQL. So here you can see if you are coming to this SOQL, each and every terms you can explore over here. Okay, so just have to come to this retrieve this data and you can see what are the different types of keywords which we are using in this SOQL. So you just have to search for the Salesforce help. Okay, so there you can find each and every terms over present over there. Is that clear? If I got that link, I'll share with you people as well. Okay. After the end of the session, I'll be sharing that link. Okay. Where you can find the each and every terms over there. Sir, where we can find the Salesforce admin to update, create records, object, etc. Why use the coding? See, if you want to update the records in bulk, right? Then how you can update the records in bulk? At one time you can't update each and every record, right? If you are simply going to the each and particular record, suppose you want to update this you want to update this record, suppose you want to update this record and update this record as well, this record. So multiple times you have to visit that record and you have to go into that record page and then you have to change that field, right? But if you want to change that in one go, then you have to code that. For that reason only we have to write this code, right? Is that clear? Without fetching them, can we update? Yes. Without fetching them also you can update that record. Okay. It is not necessary that you should write the query for that. But why we are writing the query? If suppose some specific records are there, some specific condition we are specifying over there, and for that specific conditions only we have to update that record. Then for that purpose I am writing the code. Right? Is that clear? Why I am querying this? See, please try to understand why I'm writing this code, because why I'm querying over here. Suppose I want to just update this particular record only. So for that reason, I have queried over here. If I don't want to execute for this particular record, then why I'll be using this? Is that clear? Is that clear? What I'll be doing over here, if I want to update this record, simply I'll be copying this. I'll take this one variable. I'll change the phone number from here and I'll do update emp That's it. Means this my var one. Sorry. If I'm updating, I want to update this record. What I'll be doing over here. simply I'll change this phone number and I'll update my var1. So it will get updated directly. But if some specific records are there with some specific conditions you want to change, then in that scenario you have to query. There is no other option for that. Okay. Yes. Whenever you want to query, select from that is important. Then how will system will come to know that from which object you want to fetch that record. Correct? Sir, can you explain how to complete the modules? I'm trying to understand. I'm not understanding how to complete the modules. Okay, that will mentors will help you regarding that things. If you have any query regarding this code, then please let me know. Now we are completed with this DML operations, SOQL part, and then we have seen that how we can insert the records as well, right? So now we'll start with the trigger part. Okay, we'll start with the trigger parts. Now let's move to the slides over here. This is very important, guys. Triggers are if suppose you are not if you are not able to do the things automations with the flows, then you have to go with the triggers only. In some scenarios you can't do the things with the flows. Okay, you can't be always dependent on the flows. So if you can't do that things with the flows, then you have to come for the apex triggers only. Okay, so let's start with the apex triggers first today. Okay, so here you can see SOQL was there. So just we seen that access child records from parent, then access parent records from child. So we have seen these things, right? Now let's move to the triggers, apex triggers. So please understand this, guys. Everyone, please pay attention. You can ask the queries afterwards as well. Okay. No, code is not executed for see SOSL is just for search language. It is just a search language. Okay, SOSL is the search language. You don't use SOSL for fetching the records. If you want to fetch the records, we will be using the SOQL only. We'll be using SOQLs only. Okay. Now please come back to these triggers. See, Apex trigger is a stored Apex procedure that is called automatically whenever a record is inserted, updated, deleted, or undeleted. So these are the some specific DML operations only. So what happens in some scenarios? Suppose there is a condition that suppose in the email field, suppose there is an email field, and in the email field, if there is an @gmail.com, then phone field should get automatically populated. Please try to understand, guys, what I want to say. If suppose in some particular record there is a email contains the @gmail.com, then the phone field should get with this some number. So in that scenario, we'll be using the Apex triggers. As I explained you that day also, how does that before works and how does the after works. Suppose I'm in the employees, and in the employees I'm coming to this, clicking on new record. Okay, if I want to create one new record, suppose what is my condition? If suppose it is having the @thesmartbridge.com, then phone field should get automatically populated with some number. So in that scenario, I need to code for that, right? So there are multiple ways, there are multiple events which are used in these Apex triggers. Okay, so here you can see there is the trigger events in that. So what are the trigger events? Suppose there is a trigger event which is before and after. So these are the events, okay, before and after. But with the before, we will be using before insert, before update, and before delete. And there is for the after conditions as well. After insert, after update, and after delete, and after undelete. Why there is not before undelete? Why there is before undelete? Why there is not before undelete? Common sense. Like if how it can be the thing like that before undelete? If it is getting deleted, then only we can undelete, right? Is that clear? If it is deleted, then only we can undelete. How it can be the before and delete? If we want to restore that deleted part, then only we can undelete that, right? If that delete recycle bin is empty, then how you can undelete that, right? So for that reason, there is no before undelete, there is only after undelete. Is that clear? Now please try to understand this chain, okay, for the triggers. What is happening over here? See, there is a chain. Suppose you are writing one particular trigger, and when the trigger is getting fired, whenever you are creating the record, whenever you are updating the record, okay, whenever you are creating the record, whenever you are updating the record, whenever you are deleting the record, whenever you are undeleting the record, so at that time the trigger gets fired. Now please try to understand this, what is before trigger. Is that clear? Suppose I am writing the before trigger event. So if I suppose I am using the before event over here, so how I'll be using this before event? See, if I've written this, suppose I'm inserting some values into this, sorry, in this phone field, I won't write anything. Suppose I'm writing some phone number over here. I have written this email ID and I'm trying to save. So it won't save. Why? Because phone field is having validation. So if suppose I'm inserting some number also over here. Okay, so I've written some number over here. Now, if it will save, but my condition is that if phone is this number, then state should get with the Andhra Pradesh automatically. It should happen. So I'll save this before I populate this field as a state. It should get populated with this state as an Andhra Pradesh after clicking on the save button. As soon as I'm clicking on the save button, the state should get changed, right? I'm explaining this scenario once again. Why? Because this is very important to know that how does that before event works. See, whenever we are storing that record, whenever we are clicking on that save button, before saving that, before that record gets saved into the database, some action is getting performed. Okay, then only it is called as the before event. Is that clear? Is that clear for everyone? Everyone got this point? What is before event over here? Once more explain. If I'm getting yes more, then I won't explain again. Okay, so I can see there are 2 to 3 repeat again. So see guys, please try to understand what I want to say. Suppose I am giving this phone number, right? And I am leaving this state as in blank. Okay, I don't want any state over here. Okay, I'm putting one condition in such a way that if phone number is this number, so state should get automatically populated. When it will get populated, I will click on the save button, but the record will not go to the database directly. It will change the state value, then only it will go to the database. I'm repeating this once again. If I'm keeping this as a phone number, and I want that I'm putting one condition that if phone number is this, then state should be the Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so I'll click on this save button. Before this record gets saved into the database, this value will get changed. Then if that value is getting changed to Andhra Pradesh, then record will get saved to the database. Is that clear now? Is that clear now? Before save the record, it will be automatically saved in the database with the help before. Yes, it won't save in the database. First, it will perform some action, then it will get saved in the database. Is that clear? Yeah, if I'm saving that record without giving the state, it will get saved because I haven't put any condition over here. I haven't written any code over there, right? So it will get clear. It will get saved. Is that clear? Why? Because that state is not mandatory and there is no validation rule for that. That's why it is getting saved. Is that clear for everyone? Now we have seen that, say, how does that before works. So what it is happening over here, before some actions is getting performed and then it is saving and then it is going to the database. But in the after scenario, what is happening over here? What is happening over here? If suppose there is a relationship between the, not suppose, there is a relationship between the employee and department, right? Now my condition is that as soon as I am giving this phone number as an 748935891, then in the department object, this record should get populated with this field name member as an 5. Please understand this, guys. What I want to do, suppose I am creating this employee. Okay, this employee is having some particular number. If that particular number is there, so this department field should get updated. Why? Because why this is happening? Because if suppose I am updating one object, then another object is getting updated. Suppose it is getting one record is getting saved, then some another action is happening. Now what is happening? The record is getting saved into the database. Then after saving that record into the database, some action is getting performed with the department. So it is having the after update. So it is having updating after performing some actions. After saving the data, some actions is getting performed. Is that clear? In short, what I'll be saying that, suppose we are working on the two objects. Suppose if we are working on the two objects, with respect to one object, some another object should have some performing, some actions should get performed. Then in that scenario, we'll call it as an after event. Okay, but some actions are getting performed in one object only, then we'll call it as a before event. Just for an hack for that. Is that clear? Is that clear for everyone? Are you getting my point? Okay. Now we'll move to the next slide. So whenever we write the triggers, we always in the real time we'll be writing the triggers with the handler only. We'll write the triggers with the handler only. First we'll write the trigger in the simple terms. Then from tomorrow we'll write the triggers with the handler. Okay, what is handlers and all. So before that, I want to explain this context variable as well. So what is happening over here? See, predefined variable is there. So whenever we use the trigger handlers, we need these things. Trigger dot is insert, trigger dot is update, trigger dot is delete. In most of the interviews, if you are going for the interviews for the Salesforce developer, they will surely ask this question: what are the context variables in the triggers? What are the context variable in the trigger? So you should be answer in this way: trigger dot is insert, is update, is delete, is undelete, is before, is insert, is new, is old, is map, is everything which are there. These are all the context variables only. Now, where we'll be using this trigger dot new map, trigger dot old map. See, when we'll be using this before insert, when we suppose we want to we are using this before insert event, then it will work for the trigger dot new only. We'll see these conditions. But when suppose we are after using this after insert event, then we can use trigger dot new and trigger dot new map as well. You might be getting confused why I'm taking this. When we'll take the example, you will come to know that. Okay. So what I am saying over here, see, before update, after update, before delete, after delete. So before update, it can have trigger dot new map, trigger dot old map. We can use anything for the after and update conditions, right? Whether it is a before update, whether it is a after update. But when we are using before delete, we can't use trigger dot new and trigger dot new map. We have to use the trigger dot old and trigger dot old map. Again, if we are moving to the after delete, then for the trigger dot new and trigger dot new map is not being used, then only trigger dot old and trigger dot old map is used. Then for the undelete, we'll use the trigger dot new and trigger dot new map. See, we'll see this example in a very good manner. Okay. Don't get confused with these terms, trigger.new and trigger.old map. Okay. I will explain you each and every term. Now let's take the use cases. Okay, so this will be the little bit difficult. So we'll start with the before insert first. Then we'll see each and every term in very good manner. Okay, so first we'll write the trigger. Okay, so we'll write the trigger for the before insert event. Then we'll see how we can write the trigger for the after insert as well. Okay, so we'll start with the basic, then we'll start with the after. Okay, if you want to see with this before insert, then what we'll be doing, and if you let me start with the before insert event first. Okay, so my condition is that if email ID is having some @gmail.com, then phone field should be something something number, right? So first I'll write the trigger. So how I'll write the trigger over here? Let's close all these tabs first. So I'll writing the first trigger over here. Okay. So I'll click on the file, then I'll click on new. Here you can see there is Apex trigger. So just click on that Apex trigger. Now you have to give the name of that trigger. Suppose I'm giving this trigger name as an email trigger. So suppose I want to write on the email trigger, email trigger. I'm just giving this name. Okay. Okay. I'm giving this name. One more thing, guys, whenever we write the trigger, the best practice is per object, you should write only one trigger. I'm repeating this once again. This might be asked in the interviews as well. Per object, we have to write only one trigger. We can't write the multiple triggers for one object. Is that clear? I'm repeating this once again. Per object, we should write only one trigger only. We can't write the multiple triggers for one object. Is that clear? Now it is asking for which object you want to write the trigger. So I'll select the employee object, right? Or else, okay, we can select the employee object. So I'll search for the employee. So here you can see there is an employee object. So I'll submit it. Okay. So here you can see it is automatically taking this condition. So first it will be the trigger, then it will be the trigger name, on which object you want to perform. So I'm taking this object, then which event you want to perform. So I'm taking this as an before insert. Why? Because this record should get populated automatically before saving this record into the database. This is my condition. So I'll write the trigger now. Suppose I am writing I'll write the use case over here. First, I'll write the use case. So my use case is if suppose if email contains @gmail.com, then phone should get automatically get inserted with some number like, okay, so I hope this is the 10-digit number only. Okay, so what is the condition? If email contains @gmail.com, then phone field should get automatically populated with the then populated means get inserted with this number. Okay, so this is my condition. So before that records get saved into the database, it should get populated. So before insert, I'm using this event. Now I press enter over here. Okay, now I'll use the for loop over here. In the for loop, I'll directly take the object. Okay, if I'm taking this object over here, pressing this object, okay, then I will define one variable for this as an emp. then colon. Okay, now I'm writing the before insert event, right? So as I told you, for the before insert, what I'll be using only trigger.new, right? I can't use trigger.new map and trigger.old or trigger.old map, right? So I'll be using the trigger.new map. So just go to the code. So I'll be writing the trigger.new. Okay, then semicolon over here. Sorry. So semicolon over here, then enter, then save these. Is that clear? Is that clear? So it got saved, right? Now I'm writing condition if that email contains @gmail.com, right? So if I'll take this variable as an emp over here. So emp equals emp dot which field? Email, right? So just take that email, correct? Dot contains what? Contains gmail.com, right? So in the single quotes, gmail.com, correct? Then curly braces and save this. Okay, so it got saved. So if email contains gmail.com, then something should get changed. What? Phone, right? So emp dot phone, enter, equals to, in the single quotes, what is the number? This is the number. Okay, so I'm inserting this. Okay, then semicolon. Okay, then save this. Okay, now we have written the single. See, how many lines code is this? 5-line code. Okay, now I've saved this. Now let's go to the employee object. Let's create one record over here. I'm clicking on new. I'm giving some name as an money. Okay, then I'm giving some email ID over here, random gmail.com. Okay, then I'm giving some state, Andhra Pradesh. That's it. And I'm trying to save this record. Okay, so as I'm clicking on the save button, before saving the record, phone field is getting populated. Before saving the record, this phone field is getting populated. Is that clear? Is that clear for everyone? Please respond, guys. If you get this, if you didn't get this, I can repeat it. Can you answer? Correct? So this happens in this before trigger. Is that clear? Now what I'm doing over here, yes, before saving that data into the database, it is getting populated with the phone field as in this number. Why? See, I'm explaining this code. I have written this trigger and the trigger name is this email trick on which object? Employee object, right? Before insert, it is containing, if email contains gmail.com, then phone field should get populated with this number. This is my condition. If gmail.com, if contains gmail.com, then populate the phone field as a 7234155, something number is there. Now, let us see the example of event. Okay, so I'll close this. Now, please pay attention, guys. This is important. Now, what I want, as soon as I'm creating the account object, the opportunity should get created. I'm repeating this once again. I'm writing the condition over here. Okay, then I'll work on the account object, then submit it. Now I'll write the use case as well for this. That was the first example, was the very basic example. Now I'll write the one more basic. I'll see the for the after insert, right? So if account is created, then it should create the associated opportunity record as well. See, please try to understand, guys, what I am saying over here. As soon as the account record is getting created, the opportunity should get created. Why? Because they are having the relationship, right? Because they are having the relationship. Please try to understand, guys. If suppose I'm going to the accounts, here you can see there is a Burlington Textile Corp. And here I'm saying that if suppose I'm creating this account object, automatically that opportunity should get created over here. Okay. So I want to write the particular trigger for that particular object. So what I'm doing, I have simply selected the account object and I have given the name as a trigger name over here as the OPP trick because I want to populate the opportunity trigger. So whatever the scenario is there, according to that scenario, you can give that name. Then I'm using the after insert. Why? Because after creating the account, opportunity should get created, right? So I'm using the after event over here. Okay. As soon as I'm writing the after trigger event over here, now same again, I'll be using the same thing over here. So how I'll be using that thing? I'll be using the for loop again. So now I have written the for loop. Why I'm writing the for loop? Because I want to create an account record first. So I'm taking the for loop for account and I'll be using the trigger.new only for this. So I'm writing the OPP colon then trigger.new trigger.new. Or I don't think so in the limited period of time we can cover this code because this is big code. Instead of this, if suppose what should we take? Let's take a small example of let us write the trigger to avoid the creation of opportunity if it is not associated to any account object, right? We can write that code or else let us try to finish that record trigger for the opportunity. Okay, so we'll write one trigger for the before event only. I don't think so because that after event code is little bit not difficult. It is lengthy. If time is prior, then okay, then let us complete that. Okay, so let us complete this trigger. No worries. So I am writing this for loop account OPP trigger dot new. Okay. Then I'm giving the curly brackets over here. Then save this. Okay. Now I'm saving this record. Okay. So as I've saved this, so now what is happening over here? So it is getting saved, right? Now I want to perform some action according to the AC only. Okay. So before that, I want to code for the opportunity also because opportunity is also playing the role, right? So before this for loop, I'll be creating one list for the opportunity. So I am creating the list of which object? Opportunity object. Opportunity. Correct? So OPP rec equals to OPP rec equals to new again list. Again, I'll copy this. Brackets semicolon. Okay. Why I'm writing this opportunity? Because opportunity should also get created, right? After creating this OPP rec as well. So I am creating that also. Again, for that, I can't directly this OPP rec and I can define the fields, right? So for that, I need to define the one variable, sub variable for that as well. So what I'm doing over here, opportunity. Then I am taking instead of OPP over here, I'll take AC over here because it is working for the account object, right? So I'm taking that AC. Then here I'm taking that OPP equals to new, again the opportunity. Okay, then brackets, then semicolon. Now we can define the opportunity fields as well. We can define the account field by using this AC, but for the opportunity, we were not having any variable. Why? Because this OPP was there and OPP rec was there, right? So we have used this condition now. Now what I want is whatever the OPP name is there, the same name will be for the AC as well. So please try to understand this, guys. OPP dot name. So whatever the name is there, it should be the name field, okay, equals to the same name which is there for the account. So AC dot name, then semicolon. Save this. So it is getting saved. So what is happening over here? OPP has having the name field and AC is having also having the same name. Why I'm taking this? Because as soon as I'm creating the account name, it should get converted with the opportunity also. So I'm taking this OPP name equals to AC name. Then I'm giving bracket. And one more thing to note over here, I should take each and every field which is mandatory over here. Why? Because I'm inserting. If I'm not giving any mandatory, if I forgot about the mandatory fields in the opportunity also, then it won't create. See, it won't create the opportunity. Why? Because here you can see there is a stage name mandatory, then close date is mandatory, and then opportunity name is mandatory. So that's why I'm giving this name and close date, and I'll define that stage also. So these three fields are mandatory, so that three fields should be used. If suppose I'm missing one field also, then it won't create the opportunity. Is that clear? Now I'm using this OPP name, so that's why, so that name is completed. Now I have to use the ID also. Why ID? Because see, if I'm using this I'm creating this opportunity ID. In that opportunity ID, it will contain one particular record, and that one record should have some ID also. So that should get occupied. So that should get occupied. Why? See, again, I'm explaining this thing. Opportunity might be having this accounts record, and that account record is having here, and this account record might be having particular ID. Then only it will get associated to, will come into the account ID. Why? Because that ID, suppose I'm creating this with some particular name. Okay, if I'm using this with some particular name and I'm selecting some date, okay, then there's some particular stage, then I'm saving this. As soon as I'm go to the Prasad's record, save this. As soon as I'm going to the Prasad's record, this AF something record will be coming reflecting over there. Why? Because it is getting associated with this Prasad's ID. Is this is getting associated with the Prasad's ID. So here you can see. So why it is getting inserted by using this accounts ID. Is that clear? Now what I'm doing over here, as using the opp.name. So opp.name, it should have that. Now I want the ID also. So what I'm doing, simply taking the opp dot, and why I'm using this account ID over here, because it is associated with the account ID, and it is having the field as an account name, right? So account is there in that opportunity also. Opportunity object contains this account, right? Account field is there. So that account record having some value, record some ID. So that account ID should get mapped also. So equals to AC equals to AC dot ID. It is equals to that ID only. So I'll take the accounts ID. Is that clear? Then semicolon. Then save this. Then press enter. Now stage name is remaining and close date is remaining. So OPP dot, what is their stage name, right? Stage name. So it will consider it as a stage name. Correct? So as I'm writing the stage name over here, equals to stage name equals to what I want the stage name equals to. Suppose I want the prospecting as a stage name. So I am selecting prospecting. Okay. Then after that, give semicolon. Then save this. Okay. After saving this, let me check that opportunity is having this prospecting or prospect. Clicking on new. This stage name is prospecting only. Okay.
So now I have given the name as an value as an prospecting. Then again, I am going to OPP dot, which is the mandatory field close date, right? So I'll select the close date. Now I want this close date something today's date. How I can take that today's date? System dot today. So it will take automatically date as in today's date. Okay. Then I am saving this again. Is that clear for everyone? Now what I'll be doing? I'll be inserting this first. What I'll be doing? I will, whatever the records which are there in the OPP, I'll store this OPP records into OPP rec, right? So that I can insert this OPP rec. So what I'll be doing over here? Simply taking this OPP rec, copied this, paste it over here, then dot add. What I'm adding over here? I'm adding this OPP into that, copy, then paste it over here. Same as an DML operation. So save this. Nothing is different over here. See, just we are applying some conditions and we are running. Now where I'll be inserting? I'll insert below this. Insert. Okay, why? Because after this for loop, it is outside this for loop, right? So I need to insert this side. And if I insert this means this is insert this for loop. That's why I'm inserting this outside this for loop. Insert. What I need to insert over here? What I need to insert over here? I need to insert this OPP rec, right? Copy, then again paste it over here, then semicolon, then save this. Okay, so now I have written this trigger. Let's check and let's try to create this record first. So with the account, if suppose I'm moving to this accounts object, click on new. Okay, then after clicking on new, I'm giving some sales executive name. Okay, then that's it. So if suppose I'm giving some rating as an hot, then I'm selecting some random fields over here. That's it. That is not mandatory to give. Then I suppose I am saving this record. Okay, as soon as I'm saving this record, so the record gets saved. Record got saved. Where is that record? Sales executive was that, right? So let's check why it is not getting open. So click on new, then suppose I'm creating 40, then parent account, I'm not selecting account. Okay, suppose am I in the accounts only? Yes. So click on new. I'm not selecting anything over here. Then rating hot and then just saving this. So record is getting created, and now here you can see the opportunity is getting created. Is that clear? Same name as that of account, it is getting created, right? Same name as that of account, and stage name is prospecting, and date is today's date. Is that clear for everyone? Everyone got this point? How the opportunities got created? How opportunity got created? Everyone got this point? Let me stop this recording first.
Recording stopped.
Okay, so I can see that everyone got this point. Okay, so thank you everyone. Be there for being the good response. Okay, happy weekend for everyone. I have taken lots of time of yours, extra 9 minutes. So please do practice on the Saturday, Sundays. Okay. Okay, so thank you everyone. I have made a mistake to one place. That's fine, but I have rectified that thing also. So yes, we'll meet on the Monday. So you have the Saturday, Sundays. If you practice it, if you have any queries, I'll be active on the Saturday, Sundays on the Slack. If you have any queries, you can ask me over there. Okay. So you can ping me over there. So I'll answer you. Okay. So everyone, thank you. Happy weekend for everyone.